Commissioner Edwards, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, before we approve the agenda, I'm going to read into the minutes the statement for the board. The Board of Commissioners has the legal authority and responsibility to set the county's millage rate, which funds county operations, services, and departments such as public safety, roads, parks, and general county administration. During this millage rate hearing, the board is specifically addressing the county's portion of the property tax bill. Please note, the Newton County School System operates as a separate governmental entity with its own elected school board members. The Board of Commissioners cannot increase, decrease, or otherwise influence the school system's tax rate during BOC meetings or county millage rate hearings. The Newton County School Board has the exclusive authority to set the school district's millage rate to fund educational operations, which is approximately 59% in 2025. This includes school taxes that impact our seniors. When property owners have concerns about school taxes, those issues must be directed to their elected school board officials at the Board of Education meetings, not the county commissioners, because the BOC has no jurisdiction over school taxes. There is a packet on the table that explains when and where the Board of Education meetings are held. This meeting is not to address Newton County school taxes and their respective millage rates. It is only to provide an update on the county's millage rate. Thank you. We're on number 3, and we move to have approval of the agenda.
Okay, could we have a motion? Second? Okay, all in favor? Okay, that was unanimous. Thank you.
The next item we have is number 4, the 2025 millage rate, and our finance director, Ms. Brittany White, will present.
Thank you. We'll start off tonight with just a brief recap of the millage rate increase and where a majority of that is coming from. And then we'll go into our tax increase statement, and then from there we can go into our public hearing. So the millage rate tonight will support the budget that was adopted on 6/17/2025, which was our FY26 budget. So a majority of this increase come from $3.7 million in a comp and class salary increase, $1.5 million for the health insurance increase that increased 14% this year, $1.75 million for contingency and new positions. These new positions help to fund the SPLOS projects and the Public Works mowing and litter crews, $1 million in Public Works bridge repairs, and $750,000 in Public Works culvert replacements. So this totals up to $8.7 million in revenue funding for the budget for FY26. And now I will go into the tax increase statement to read that into record. Newton County has tentatively adopted a millage rate which will require an increase in property taxes by 10.31%. This tentative increase will result in a millage rate of 8.567 mills, an increase of 0.801 mills. Without this tentative tax increase, the millage rate will be no more than 7.766 mills. The proposed tax increase for a home with a fair market value of $325,000 is approximately $100.93, and the proposed tax increase for a non-homestead property with a fair market value of $300,000 is approximately $96.12. 3 public hearings are required. This is the 3rd public hearing. The first public hearing was held on July 29th at 11 a.m. and the second public hearing was held on July 29th at 6 p.m. And this concludes the tax increase statement.
At this time, we will open the floor for citizen comments. Each person will have 3 minutes to come forward and address the Board of Commissioners. Again, at this time, each person will have 3 minutes to address the Board of Commissioners and respond either for and or against. Once the 3 minutes has ended, we will move forward to the next person. Please come forward, provide your first and last name and your address, please.
My name is Kevin Goff, 16603 Highway 36, mailing address Covington. And I've lived in the county since 2009, and services certainly today are no better than they were in 2009. All my property taxes in 2009 were approximately $2,000. Last year they were $3,500. In fact, we had waste stations that were part of the county amenities. They're now at a separate charge, and we're giving salary increases to people who are currently have jobs and are satisfied with them, and just wanted to make my displeasure known. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
Are you ready?
Yes.
My name is Cynthia Van Vink. I live at, excuse me, 5051 Highway 162 South, Covington, Georgia. I honestly think that 10.2% is way too high for seniors. I am 76 years old and a widow. My husband, Jerry Lawson, died of COVID pneumonia on January 25th, 2022. Our business started failing shortly after that, and we published insider newspapers for many years. Our advertisers were manufacturers and wholesale distributors, and in that industry, COVID killed it too. The government made the manufacturers and wholesale distributors to close until they deemed it was good to return to their businesses. Most of the advertisers decided 2023 that they wanted to have a website. I tried to keep the newspaper open, but we could not make enough money to pay the bills and pay my employees. Our newspapers were distributed to the whole United States. I had to shut it down, and from then to now, I am living off of my Social Security and interest on my money market. I can only get money out of my IRA at the end of the year, and that is not enough to pay my bills. I have sold everything I can to keep it all going, but soon I will have no money to keep going. I'm trying to keep my website for HVAC and Refrigeration Insider online, but so far have not done well with that either. I also have a lot of medical problems and have to go to the doctor and have operations and all kinds of things. So that makes it harder for me to be able to get money. Please do not make the seniors have to pay that much. I think that there are many others as old as I am will have a very hard time to keep their property because we cannot pay the property tax with 10.2% uptake. Please do not make the seniors have to pay that much. It's bad enough that you make us pay school tax when we do not have any children in school. Thank you. So I can't, it's unaffordable for me for y'all to go up like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to ask that you speak into the microphone, please, so that everyone can hear. Thank you.
Dennis Taylor, 385 Lang Road is where we're at now. This is not employees against taxpayers in Newton County, so nobody try to spin it that way. Everybody in this county, I believe most, want employees paid right. I paid mine right 33 out of 35 years. There's 4 things that disturbs me about this. Why are we still sending money to Solid Waste Authority after they've been in existence for 10 years? They're supposed to stand on their own. Like somebody said, we're paying for garbage pickup, recycle centers if we use them, and tipping fees. It's like double taxation. If they can't stand on their own, pull them back in. You had no trouble pulling in Nelson Heights. You had no trouble pulling in Recreation. If they can't do the job, pull them in. And the second thing is this deal with efficiency on buildings. They're not getting the job done. So why take the money out of our pocket to pay them all this money? If it's a contract for any of you on your homes, you wouldn't be paying them. So fire them. Get rid of them. We don't need them if they can't do the job. And the third, this money coming in now from these giveaways. What came in as Baxter, they changed their names more than my niece that's been married 6 years, but they're finally sending money in. Facebook sending some money in. And Joint Development Authority, if they can't find a way to keep it, they're sending a little bit in now. Is that earmarked to the budget, as it should be, during the budget here, when you set the budget? Or are you just waiting until you get it in and figure out how to spend it? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is J.L. Scott, and I live in the Broadleaf subdivision in Oxford. How you doing, Leanne? My point for this whole tax increase is not just for me, but it's for the seniors that's been living here. And I've been living in Newton for over 10 years from 2 houses. And I'm proud to be here, but I've been reading that HB 8581. I guess we opt in instead of opting out. So that's a 1%. And I think it should be a vote put to the next calendar election vote to whether we accept this that y'all adopting. Well, it should be a vote on the ballot for all, especially for the seniors. My other point I want to make, we've taken all our money to Snellville. There's nothing for, we've taken our money to Rockdale, to BJ's, Sam's Club in Snellville, McDonough, Costco's. There's nothing here for us to keep our money in Newton County. We're taking all our money out to other places, and now we're finna give our money up here, and there's not even a theater for us to go to. We're spending our money out other places. All these communities that we're building, and whatever cuts that we're making for them to get for building these subdivisions, and ain't a third of them full. So whenever that plant get open in Social Circle, we still got to wait for them people. I guess they're going to come from California to get away from the floods and the fires. But our kids can't even afford those. So I'm trying to figure out why we finna take an increase, and we just had to, a couple of years ago, had an increase on our taxes. So here we back to the same thing. I'm just trying to wonder, when is the money going to be put in here? And that Down Mill Road, for this road and culvert system that y'all got the budget on, cut some of them trees down. They falling, power outages. Go do that. Use something. We had a revenue left over at the beginning of the year. I remember that meeting. I was here. A couple of $1 million. That should be going to this. So the seniors don't have to pay this. We had a revenue of $3 or $4 million in January. I was at the meeting when these young ladies said it. Why are we still not using it? Where's it going? But I don't see no use of this. And I'm very much against it. And I'm speaking for the seniors because I'm on my way to be a senior. I'm over 60 years old. So I'm there too. And I can see this right out here. Their money is fixed. Mine is fixed. I'm a disabled vet. I don't know when I might go in the hospital. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Commissioners. Elena Sanders. I said majority of my stats in the last meeting, but I wanted to come up because as I was rewatching the last hearing, I kept hearing elected officials say, this county has this millage rate, that county has this millage rate, and you guys basically should be lucky because we're at a lower rate. But let me tell you about the other counties that you're comparing yourselves to. They have numerous parks and recreation. They have economic development. DeKalb County just recently put $8 million in to build affordable housing for their residents. We don't have none of that in Newton County. So we should be, it should be a sin, I would say, to even say compare ourselves to other counties because we're not doing the work that other counties are doing. Now, this is not picking on the county manager. I'm looking at the salary. In 2021, the salary for the county manager was $135,000. Then in 2023, 2024, you increased it to $150,000. In less than almost a year, almost 2 years, you increased it to $185,000. So you tell me that. I asked you, board, to go back and look at the budget, because from the last meeting, based on the response from the commissioners, every commissioner to get an opportunity to look at that actual budget with the county manager, because the questions were asked. Now, previously, the commissioners could not sit down with the county manager because based on the ABLE legislation, it's supposed to be the chair, the county manager, and the finance director. So to hear 3 commissioners actually had the opportunity to decide on what to be cut in the budget, I felt like I missed out the last 4 years I was on this board because I wanted to go line by line to see what we can cut. So I asked that you go back and look at that budget because there's some things that I saw that could be cut line by line. And as he stated, I've always talked about solid waste. I've always talked about those authorities that we're constantly giving them funding and we're not over the year decreasing their money. And they're making a profit off of the services they're providing to constituents, and none of that is coming back to the county like the city of Covington that has utilities. None of that comes back to the county. So you can go back and look at that budget. We've edited, we've added onto it. You've taken additional money that hasn't been budgeted. So you can go back and look at that budget and stop comparing ourselves to other counties because we don't have what they have.
Is anyone else? Okay, if there's no one else, then we'll close the public hearing. What for comments?
We're going to open the floor for our commissioners to now respond. We're going to start with District 1, Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I heard a concern raised about commissioners spending time with finance and the county manager, and I've done that, not from an invitation. I've done that for 8 years, going on 9 years. Each year I was a commissioner, not because I was invited by finance or the county manager, but because I asked to. So that's how that all come about. So I had another question about the JDA and where those funds go. At some of our budget hearings, this is a millage rate hearing, some of our budget hearings, we explained that those JDA funds, at least from Stanton Springs, were plowed back into the budget already. So that money is being used to finance our budget. Trash. The county is obligated to pay the debt that paid through the Solid Waste Authority because of a lawsuit we lost prior to 2017. I think it was 2015, 2016. We lost a lawsuit, or I should say a settlement of a lawsuit that we have to pay. I forget what that debt service is yearly, but that's part or most of what we pay the Solid Waste Authority. And those convenience centers, as of 2016, 9 years ago, were losing $2 million per year. Now that doesn't seem like a lot of money today, especially given our budget. But you adjust for inflation and project that out today, I would venture to say that'd be at least $10 million a year. Those convenience centers would be losing right now if there was not a fee it had to be paid to use those for now. So I just wanted to address those issues. And last, I will compare to Walton County. Tonight, they're meeting on a budget. Since 2022 has increased 65%. Walton County, 65%. Ours is roughly 20. So I don't tell you that to take the attention off of Newton County. I tell you that to say that the struggle is real for all counties. And all counties, and they don't have any more amenities than we do. Probably have less. So that's where we are. This year alone, Walton County's increased 21.4%. And I've spoken with Walton County residents. Their home values are in line with ours for the most part. So over that same period of time, our budget increase has been roughly 20%. So with that, I'll yield, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to put out there to our residents, especially our seniors, I want our seniors to know that this board does care. And we do want to make sure that we do our best to find ways to provide relief to all of our residents. I have mentioned this several times before. I know that in past years, we've actually, because we were growing so rapidly, we were able to take, full rollbacks. We were able to take partial rollback last year. And so we've gone from 13.4 millage rate all the way down to 8.2. And so from 8.2 now proposing to 8.6. And what that's going to do is, I know for me, I get an enormous amount of calls. Commissioner Mason, we need our roads repaired. Commissioner Mason, we want more parks. We want more recreation. Commissioner Mason, we want more facilities for our seniors and for things that we can do from a recreational perspective. And so the responsibility of this board is for all of those things that we want. There is a cost associated with those. Of course, we don't want to make it where the cost isn't affordable for our seniors, for our middle age, for any of our residents. And so I want to make it clear that's not the objective of the board, is to make it where it isn't affordable. I think we all understand. I think the most of us up here own homes. And so, we are taxpayers as well. And so that's why we're very cautious and cognizant in the decisions that we try to make for our community. We don't want to have to cut services. When you dial 911, we want to make sure that someone's there to answer that call. If you need a deputy to come out, we want to make sure that we have enough deputies that are on the road to be able to help from a law enforcement perspective. If something is happening with your home and it catches on fire, we want to make sure that we have enough firefighters that are in place that can come to your home to make sure that we do our best to save your home as quickly as we possibly can. And so the things that our taxpayers are wanting, there's a cost. There is a lot of things that we are asking for in our special purpose local option sales tax projects that are even coming up. When we build these particular projects, there's maintenance and operation that comes with those. So we may have some funding to build those facilities, but then you have to employ, you have to staff them. They have benefits. So there's different expenses that comes along with that. And so we want to make sure that we are able to provide those services that our residents are asking for. And it's not that we're trying to make it where it isn't affordable. We're trying to make it where it is affordable, and we're still trying to provide you with those services. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Cooper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I just want to say I was, when they started the budget process, I was fairly new, but I was still engaged in a lot of those calls. I was called back and trying to find out where we are. But I didn't have the opportunity to make a lot of those meetings because I am working full time, and my job don't allow me to get around that much. But I was able to put input as well in the budget, and also hear that in the district, I get a lot of phone calls and emails about road repairs. We need a lot of road repairs in my district. So I do hear a lot of that. So I just want to make sure that we have that taken care of. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've been on the board a while, and it's for the past 7, I think, we said 9 years, that basically, when they did the enabling legislation, they allowed the chairman and the county manager to do the budget, and they would send it out to be rubber stamped by the Board of Commissioners, this board. And up until then, that was the first time, and I've been for a while, I'd ever known that to happen. And what happened was I didn't know what was going on. They said, well, here's the budget, bam, we want you to approve it. I never did vote for it. And until I get a budget that I can physically look at and say, well, I do not want this or don't want that, then I'm not going to support it. Moreover, I'm a senior too. Them bills is killing the hell out of me. I'm tired of them tax bills. I get double billed. I get a tax bill from the city of Cleveland, I get a tax bill from the county. We can't afford all of those tax bills. Now, the main reason that we did back salter back then, that we called it back salter, and it broke up, was to bring in more commercial to fund some of these taxes for our seniors or the people in Newton County. And yes, they gave us some money, but they just threw it in the budget. It should have been set aside and put in a special account, like splash money should have been. And other tax money should have been in, but instead it was thrown in the budget, and you don't know where it went to or what it went on. And so it's just kind of hard for me to sit up, and I said it last time, and it doesn't mean too much because it's already going to approve because y'all got the majority of the board on it. But it's just hard for me to sit up and say it's not right, and I'm sorry. People get mad at me, and I get sued. The board will go out and spend $250,000 to try to get rid of me. But it's not right. And I may be one of the few people who just stand up for it and say, hey, we got to make a change. Solid Waste Authority, 3 commissioners wanted Solid Waste Authority to be set up. It was set up. Slush fund. Took the recycling center that everybody could use free in the unincorporated Newton County and charged them $183 a year. That's an extra tax in case, that's the way I see it. I don't know how most people see it. And it should be all in the general fund. So what I'm saying is, we need to sit down and include all of us, every commissioner, so we can give his or her input. And make sure the meetings are public. Don't have them somewhere behind closed doors. Make sure they're public so everybody can hear what you're saying and see what you're talking about. So, I mean, we should be crying out transparency. I thought we was moving beyond that, but I think we're at a standstill. Thank you.
Commissioner Long.
You're going to have to reverse and let me go first, because every time Commissioner Henderson says something, I had to change my speech around. But we were all invited to meetings with the department heads when they wanted to talk about appropriations, what they were going to need for this year's budget. We were paired up in twos. I was paired up with Commissioner Henderson, and I was by myself at the meeting. So I'm not sure what was going on with your schedule, but I was there by myself. And when somebody sends me numbers and it's 13 mills for a budget, by God, I'm gonna jump right in head first, because I'm not gonna let it go from 8 mills to 13 mills. No way. I pay those taxes too. It's struggle for everybody. So I think it's important to know that, you know, the jumping in and doing what we're supposed to do. The one thing that we're charged with is the budget and the money. So that's what we do. But my wonderful couple sitting out here in the audience, Mr. JL, I looked up something real quick because I should have sold you a house now. So unfortunately, one of the things I talk about every time it comes around to me is being in the real estate business. I have seen this incredible increase in values. A lot of people's taxes that they're going crazy about is the values increases. So just to use an example, this lovely couple bought my house 5 years ago from me. And it's just been a great relationship with them. And I miss seeing you guys. It took me a minute to recognize you, but that property that I sold you for $330,000 has increased $118,000 in 5 years. Dang. Okay. So beautiful home, gorgeous home. I see you sometimes when you post on Facebook, and I see the inside. The house I bought when I left that house has increased $155,000 since then. So it is struggle. It is struggle. I have a disabled husband. He's at home. He doesn't work. Yes, he has retirement and things like that, and I work every day, day and night. But it's tough for everybody, no matter who you are. And I think we have to look and say that some of these increases have been to this huge number of values that have gone up. Do I agree with $118,000 to go up on that house? Probably not, but that is the market value of that house. So, you know, if I asked you today, would you sell it to me back for $330,000? You're going to say, oh, girl, you're crazy. So I do want to bring that out, that these values are a big part of this tax increase that everyone's seeing. I did look, you do have the right exemptions on the house. I had a couple calls last week from people that were in the audience, and they asked me to check on their values. And one of the gentlemen, real quick, was he purchased the house for $352,000. His tax value is set at $340,000. So he's under what he actually said that was the true market value last year of his house. So I was kind of glad to see that, because most of the houses are now at what you pay for. But the reason why he felt like he had an increase is because when he bought the house, the taxes were prorated off the other lady that had more exemptions than him, and the value was $282,000. So it's a good and bad. The values are going up, people's houses are worth more, but the taxes go up with that. So I would love to to fix that, and I would love to do something for seniors. I'm trying to figure out every day what we can do for seniors. Okay, I'm 60 years old. Okay, I'm a senior. I feel the same burden that you guys feel. So I think that with this board has talked about things. We are looking at things. We're trying to figure out how to do it. Some of it is legislation. We have to lobby our legislators. So when we get ready to do that, we're going to call you, tell you to help us, because it's not a decision we get to make. The school board, you say you don't have kids in school, you don't have any grandkids, but do you go to the school board meetings and fuss at them because they're spending too much money? We all need to show up, because there's a lot of money going out there too, and they get 59% of this money that we collect. So it's not an excuse. I just like to make sure that all the facts are clear and the numbers that people are spewing out are correct. You know, people want to debate me all day long. I'm a numbers girl. That's what I do, is numbers.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Thank you.
Can I say one thing? She called my name in doing her speech. So I want to just address what she said about me, if I may. What Commissioner Long said, that we were supposed to be called to a meeting, her and I. It wasn't in a meeting where you said and said, well, I don't want this, or this amount of money taken out of the budget. There was just a meeting where these kind of people come up and talk. But the bottom line is this.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, it's time for our.
Yes, ma'am.
meeting. Thank you. Can we come to order, please? Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second? All in favor? Okay, that was unanimous. Thank you.